The order, roll call?
Johnson,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Emhoff,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Wiederholt, Seifert. Is she like,
Just walking in right now. Approve publication? So moved. Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Couple things before we get started, we're gonna amend our agenda, or get a motion if we can to move item number 12 up behind item number H. So someone will be able to make that motion.
Make that motion.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The other thing, there's obviously a lot of people here tonight, we are gonna conduct a professional meeting. We ask that everyone's civilized, people can have opinions, but again, we're all adults, and we're gonna conduct a professional meeting.
Clearly.
All right, starting out, approval of minutes, regular and special.
when you have your regular minutes? Just regular.
All I read before. Make that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Appearance, Dan Burns on zoning code for commercial buildings with residential residents.
Yeah, my concern is this, 10 years ago, I offered to buy John Penley's place over here on Nebraska Street. And I asked John if there's any way we could get housing on the street level. He goes, no, that's not allowed. So I came up to the village, I did not come to a meeting, I asked if there was a village clerk at the time. And I said, is there, any variances allowed for housing on commercial property on the street level? No, there's not. And I don't know if we have another one of those in the community besides the laundromat. So I wanna know why it's allowed now. Has there been a change to the law? Has there been variances issued?
I guess looking at zoning 13-123, that's the proper one, there is a thing in there saying living quarters.
Yeah.
Living quarters should be separate from the commercial business with a permanent wall or door. Living quarters must have a separate outside entrance. So I
Are
would
we
guess,
willing to say that places like the theater building and the auto parts store can now turn into apartments if they have a commercial side to it? That, there's no community in southwest Wisconsin that would have that permissible. We've all lived in different communities, I hope. One, apparently I was not given correct information in 2016.
and I'm not sure how long this has been.
Well, I don't think the law's changed, but are we saying as a village that entry-level commercial properties can now be housing? Even if there's no commercial business going on there?
So that was my understanding from Mike Ryder, that as long as there's a commercial business facing the main street, so that building that you're referencing
Yeah.
over there.
I'm with you, it's fine, I
What
just
is-
wanna know why I was kind of denied it and now it's accepted.
And that I can't explain, I mean,
And are we saying as a village, that's what we're gonna permit?
that's in the zoning record, so you're allowed to have a residential as long as there's a commercial on the lower level for the zoning code.
And we're gonna stay by that. So we're literally wrong to put in apartments in theater building as long as he has that corner business that looks like a commercial property. And we're gonna say that
There's
the
already.
auto
a
parts
business
store,
there, right?
what's it, upstairs,
There's
I'm
a-
talking about street level.
There's already on the side, on street level, there's a pharmacy. Four.
Okay, that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna say if you're commercial and you have entry level, Main Street, or community owned parking lot, that is fine. Cause I just wanna know what rules I'm playing by.
Is
Cause
there a
I can buy some
particular
properties
building?
that will have street level housing if that's what we're gonna allow. playing by?
The zoning code is the only rules that this office is gonna play. I don't know what was said 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 years ago.
It's 10.
So I can't change the past, we can only move forward and follow the ordinance code that we have.
Is there any inclination, people on the board that think that's a bad idea? To take away commercial zoning?
Which building were you referring to 10 years ago?
Ever's building on Nebraska Street. I mean, so if it's zone commercial now, and I don't know who's coming in after Southwest Path leaves, is it gonna be more residential on commercially zoned property?
There has to be commercial on the main floor.
Does it have to be, an open business, or should it just be a sign?
It has to be available for commercial.
So just say it needs to be a sign. And is this committee fine with, this village board fine with that? I think you're
I just-
opening up a
As
big
long as
can
I
of
can
worms.
remember, the theater building had apartments on that
It's
south
built
side,
that way.
correct? I mean, as long as I can remember.
That was designed that way.
Yeah, it was the side. It's
There
not
may
on
have been
Main,
a
it's not on Main
variance
Street,
given.
it's not on Main Street, but it's, so we have a,
It's also not, it's also not a community-owned parking lot.
it's also like,
Not a community-owned parking lot, it's a street. That community-owned parking lot that was designed to benefit commercial businesses in the community.
on the north side of that building.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about how the parking goes.
Well, the community owns the parking.
Pedley's building. Is it, that's the village parking lot, or is that? That's the village parking lot? Even Walsh's, Ace, that's the village parking lot as well.
Even up to mine, even, until you get to Vicky's, it's all owned by the community.
So it's no different than the 10 people that live in that apartment park over here. They're parking in village parking lot, right?
Right.
So then we'd have to change them laws.
I don't know, you'd have to look at what the zoning was then and see what they were given a variance, I don't know, I just know that in every community I've ever been in, if you're gonna approach, a main street or commercially, and they're not parking on the commercially parked side, that's not the point, like, the point is, do we wanna open that up? Do you want to be able to put apartments in the front? Do you want to be able to put apartments where the auto parts store is? Do you wanna be able to put apartments anywhere you want? Up and down Main Street is like, if it's commercial or not, it kind of defeats the point of being a commercial building.
Did you say in here that you have, the commercial business has to have?
It has to be on the front of the building,
Right,
so
right.
So
the front of the
that-
building has to have the business.
Right, so
What's
that
considered
eliminates.
So your highway would be your front.
Yeah.
Your
What's
Wisconsin
your
Avenue would be, I guess, your front, if that's the front of your business, if that's how you built your theater and that's the front of your business is on Wisconsin Avenue, then that,
So what's the front of the Nebraska Street address?
that would be, what is it that's in there?
Front Street or Nebraska Street is the
Front
front?
Street,
Front, on which one?
Pedley's would be considered the south facing would be the street that is, the business is on.
So you're referencing Eric's building
Yeah, yeah.
over there.
So there's a front street,
So-
there's Nebraska, the address is Nebraska Street.
That's the apartment.
One 24 West Front Street. It's kind of an anomaly because it spans the entire block, so I guess either end could be.
I was
Front of
calling
the
up the
building.
tax parcel. The tax parcel listed as Nebraska. Which one's the front one?
It would be the one that faces your highway, right, which is,
The front street faces the highway.
There's a
the
residential
front,
housing
that
there as well.
faces the highway, so that would be
Front
your.
street is the south side.
And I'm not trying to pin Eric down, I'm not, I just wanna know the rules. Cause if I wanna buy a commercial building, I don't wanna be told I can't put residential housing, because as long as I got a corner of it facing a road, you know. Tom Nitwicks, you know, whatever it is.
As long as you fall within the zoning code.
And I
would say
really
you
would
would
hope
permit.
that the zoning code would look at this in the future, because that's a bad precedent to set on Main Street of a small community. To have residential housing on it.
Say that again?
I think it's a bad precedent to set to have a Main Street commercial businesses where residential housing is allowed on the entry level. Almost every community, and I think you can ask Ben this, that will have ordinances will say, yeah, you can have above and all that, very common, most places are. And I'm sure sure when that building was built, what they were building, whatever year it was, I'm sure that the zoning codes back then did not look at that as well as they are now. I would ask the zoning committee to definitely consider whether that's a plan forward or not, because I personally think that's a bad precedent or something.
Well, one caveat to that, Dan, is that they changed the code so that now, then, if you had 20 units or more, you had to have fire suppression. Now it's 3. So if you had a building that had 3 apartments upstairs and you wanted to add 1 downstairs, you would have to sprinkle the entire building. So,
And the same thing's happened with my code too. There's new laws about having living quarters above a restaurant bar because.
right. But I'm just saying, in terms of practicality, to have 1 apartment and then to have to spend over $100,000 to sprinkle the entire building does not cash flow. It doesn't make sense. So
That's why I didn't
don't
buy it in
think
the
that's-
first place, because it didn't make sense to me without putting housing in there.
Right.
Exactly why. I mean, I did the math as well.
Did you factor in the fire suppression then?
No, it was 10 years
Because
ago.
10 years ago it
And
wasn't.
it would
Right.
have been, I wasn't looking at taking the former, clinic, I was keeping that as commercial. And I wanted to turn the front street interest into housing. And I thought, because I think it's a much tougher place to run a commercial business out of there. You fly by, you don't really, you have to wanna go there, so that you're gonna
Yep, I
see
agree.
it and walk in.
Yep.
And that was my goal of it, was to turn that into residential and keep the front and as commercial. And that situation, if we're gonna allow it, I guess, I would hope that the zoning commission would look at it and say, let's protect Main Street for businesses and let's protect the, what could happen. I mean, under that situation right now, I could go to Jody Wolfram and say, I'm gonna buy your property and turn his former supper club and that interest into an apartment, right across the street. And I don't think that's a precedent we wanna have. I would ask the board to, at least consider that in the next zoning committee.
I hate to argue with this, that used to be an apartment in front of the.
I'm sure it was, but
I
is
know,
that,
'cause I own-
is that what we wanna do? That's the
My
question.
mom and dad lived on the side of the bar. I turned it into an apartment.
Believe it entirely.
Perfectly legal, cause the bar is right there, it had a front and side end.
Just asking, that's what we wanna do.
And I'm gonna look back even farther, like Fred and all these guys closer to my age, Regis Shoe Store used to have a house right on the side of it.
There was a
I had a
apartment right
friend.
behind where Sportsman's Patio is now, I'm well aware of that, West was there when I bought the place,
Yeah.
right? I'm just saying, do we wanna have residential housing on Main Street, on street level?
Well, I think.
Cause if we do, I wanna know.
Right? The way it's written now, we can't.
You can, as long as you have a shared commercial space.
Not facing Main Street,
Not
not off
facing
Main
Main
Street, it would have to be in the back,
It'd have to
so it
be
wouldn't be
back.
on Main Street.
What if it was
So you have to enter from the rear, but the front of the building has to be a commercial property, that's a business that's being used for that reason, right? That's what it says.
The entire one, the entire front,
Huh?
the entire front.
Oh, I mean,
I
they
don't
split it
know,
down the middle.
I don't have the zoning thing that specifically reads everything.
I think the zoning's pretty vague.
It is.
So all I'm asking is the zoning committee is to define it, bring it up here next meeting and define it.
Okay.
Because I might wanna buy some commercial property, but I wanna know what the rules are gonna be when I do.
I guess that'd be cool.
I mean, at least identify what we can and can't do. I was just told that I couldn't, but apparently we can. And the reason I just accepted the answer is because when I own property in the city, when I own property in Benton, when I own property in Gladwell, those are always the same rules. If it's commercial, you can never have entry level street unless there was a variance given. And variances were given for pre-existing, I'm sure. That's not a pre-existing situation there. And that's the difference in my mind. That's a pre-existing before a lot of
so.
Yeah, so I just wanna know if I'm gonna buy something, I don't want, you know, in my mind, for the rules to change.
Yes, sir.
Is this a specific part of Wisconsin Avenue, correct, that we're referring to as Main Street, not the entire stretch from like one end of town to the other?
The commercial zoning, differs depending on the street address, I believe.
So where does it start though? Like on, like south side of town, where would we be discussing this at, because
That would have to ask.
Might be Warehouse Street. What's that, like, where's the third?
I would say, yeah, warehouse.
like railroad tracks forward?
From before.
There is a
railroad
zoning
tracks.
map that shows that, but I don't know exactly what the.
I was just curious, because, I mean, we're talking about the whole street, that wouldn't make sense, cause there's definitely already residential mix all through, so I was just wondering if we're talking about from like railroad tracks to,
Zoning,
let's
there's
say,
commercial.
other
zoning
side of the
every-
library, where's the zone that we're speaking?
I don't know the answer.
Dan, you had asked a question about, does it have to be, did you say an operating business, or can you just hang a sign?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's already defined in here. In section 13-123A, when it says purpose, it says intended to provide an area for business and commercial needs for the community. So I think that word provide, in my mind,
I think intention is vague,
intended to provide.
it's vague to me. I mean, I can say if I'm opening up an earthworm shop at Ron's place right now, okay, I'm intending to open it, but I may or may not. If business doesn't have to be viable for a certain, I would put it at a certain amount of days if I was on the zoning committee. I'd say, okay, if you don't have a commercial business there within 90 days or 120 days or something, then it's probably not intended to serve. Probably intended to allocate a commercial side of business.
Well, if it's for rent, I don't know that you can determine that you can have it rented in 90 days. Because, well, it's must.
I'm not saying 90, I'm just saying for it as a requirement so the intent can be a lot of things. If a landlord wants to say, I want $4,000 a month for this commercial property, which is, you know, unviable, it's not gonna be rented. I just think that we need to clear up the vagueness of that zoning, so everybody knows what rules they need to play by.
And I think we're all in agreement that that can be done, but that'll have to be, you know, someone with Ben Wood and probably Mike Ryder and some other people with a little more working knowledge of what all can and cannot be.
Yeah,
done.
I'm not assuming that we're gonna have a decision made. I'm just saying, I really hope that the zoning committee looks at it and says, I mean, I used to own the outlet concrete place. I would've easily put efficiency apartments in there, kept one section of it as commercial.
Anything else on, otherwise we're moving on. Proposed stormwater control plan, do we have any?
Yep, that will be moved to August.
Along with my construction pay request? Okay, final consideration and adoption on resolution 2602 to vacate alleys in block 152.
So you guys already reviewed the ordinance a couple months ago, this is just, you're going to approve that ordinance 26-2. Now that everything has been voted on, so I would need that vote for that.
I'll make that motion.
Roll call.
Seifert,
Yes.
Learholt,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Penland.
Yes. All right, review ideas on ordinance for food trucks in the village of Muscoda. So we're gonna limit, we're gonna give whoever wants to talk, we'll give you about a 2-minute thing. I think we've all had a lot of discussion, and hopefully everyone here on the board has put their thinking cap on and has some ideas, so would anyone like to start?
I'll just get it out of the way for me.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of misconception out here that I am only representing myself. As people who have been to the board meeting the last two would know, I went and talked to the other people in the community and asked them, I told them what my intention was and asked if I could speak for them. I gave you all that information, and it wasn't, that was Mark, that's the Shell station, that's Foggy, that's Vicky's, that's vendors. And yes, they said what the plan I was offering, I was speaking for all of us, not just myself. And under that, I would also like to say that there's some things I didn't recognize that now I do recognize, seeing some of the efforts that are being made for people to start a business. I am fine with that. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. So what I would ask the board to do and look at is looking at the way the state does. There's 4 different categories of running food and beverage industry and the fees that you pay to run those. Package, simple, moderate, complex. I would ask the board to look at 2 areas. One being simple, which is basically you're warming up food or you're having prepackaged food and that's what you're serving. You're not preparing from raw to a whole process. You don't have really fresh vegetables or stuff that can go bad. For example, I have a catering license, which is part of the complex license. I can go to St. John's and I can have funeral dinner. One of the rules of that is I can only have it out there for 4 hours because I'm not making the food there, right? That's just a state law. I would suggest as part of this, I don't know if you call it compromise or at least a suggestion. If you're a simple food license, $100 a year, and if you're complex, $300 a year. I'm not even gonna ask about the times, because I don't think that's gonna be something that anybody's comfortable with. But to me, it at least shows that the people that are generating income here in town are at least contributing something back to the community. And I remember you brought up about the kind of the evaporated, the tax situation with my 5,400 versus that. And I would look at that as, that's based on asset base, it's not based on how many days you're open. It's an asset-based tax. The only thing close to that the city does would be, for example, if you're gonna rent out property at the campground, $25 a day. But if you wanna rent it for the year and have that, what's $1,500 a year? Well, that's only 2 months worth per day. So extrapolation to me is more relevant that way than an asset base. I would say, I'm hoping that just a simple solution, $300 for complex, $100 for simple, and that's my suggestion.
Is that per year or?
Yeah.
For this?
Sorry, Dan, what's the definition of complex again?
Complex, like for me, complex is like if I have to buy the food raw, and then you're basically from the time you buy the raw to the time it goes to the plate.
Okay.
So, like if you take for like the ice cream place during the Burger in the Park. Well, they're not bringing that stuff in and making ice cream. Ice cream's already made. They're serving a pre-made product.
Okay.
I think like your bread, they're serving a pre-made product. That would be considered simple. What I like Jose's, that would be considered complex. The Yuvian, that would be considered complex. They're taking raw food and they're cooking it there and they're serving it. If they're not, I mean legally they can only hold it for 4 hours. I don't think that's the case.
Right.
So they're serving it from raw to the plate. So that would be the definition to me between simple and complex, just to, for vary the word, make it simple.
I went to Richmond Center to find out what their rules are on food trucks. They charge $50 a year, no restrictions, come here as often as you want. They do require that you take your trash away. There's some restrictions in it. It tells you where you can and cannot set up. But it's pretty open. It's not restricted to the point where you would say, I'm done with this and just leave. okay? As he was speaking about me, because I serve hot dogs are, already pre-cooked. So I'm not serving anything raw, I would fall under the simple category. And I'm trying to be reasonable also, because I'm not here to make enemies, I'm not here to make things worse for the city, I wanna make it better. You and I, John, have spoken about things I'd like to do for the city to make it better. So I'm not trying to be unreasonable. But last time we were in here, we were talking, you know, we were throwing around numbers, $600, $1,000. Honestly, if it was $600 a year, I wouldn't even buy a license. And quite simply because if I have one rainy day, I lose money. I honestly, I just can't make it on hot dogs. The profit margin is not there. And there's a lot of taxes that do get paid. There's the upkeep on the trailer, there's the maintenance, the tires, the insurance, all those other things that are part of that cost. So we have to be reasonable, and that's all I'm asking, is be reasonable. I don't have a problem, even though it's more than Richland Center, I don't have a problem with $100 a year for a simple license. I could absorb that cost. These other guys may not be able to, because theirs are going to be a different license, and the price is gonna go up for them. They'll have to speak for themselves, but for me, $100, as long as that's the only restriction, is that we have to get a city license, good for a year, I'm okay with that.
Okay, that's your, we'll get back to you, Dan, I'll give everyone else a chance to. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I was just listening to him, we needed a professional, that's what we do at 38,000 we go to, we love Muscoda. We do bring generators, our food coolers, it has a temperature that we run it through a generator. So when we get the meat from our coolers and go into our other coolers on the truck, it has a temperature that comes into right here. So we do cook everything fresh, vegetables and meat. So what we do is, that's why we have very good generators, but they keep everything cold. So, I mean, I don't have much to say about it, but what we do is that we do it the right way. It's not just you guys, we go to a lot of different towns and we literally try to do the best to cook you a nice fresh meal. Just something to say, because I hear what people say.
How do you feel about the $300 for your complex license? Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
How do you feel about the $300?
Well, we put a lot of effort to come all the way here, and we do, you know, we don't make a lot of money. If you see our prices in the truck, we added $1 this year because our meat went from $7.25 to $11. So, it does affect us, like he said, if we have a rainy day or something, then we can end up losing money. I mean, I really don't have much to say.
And let me, I know you want us to talk and shut up, I got it, but one thing different from our business than your business is they're not pulling food out of the cooler and hoping that it doesn't spoil. You know, rainy day, my slowest business, it doesn't cost them a net loss. He may not make anything, but he doesn't lose anything. Whereas in our case, I mean, I'm cooking up hot dogs, and if I don't sell them, they're going in the trash.
Okay.
So it is a loss to me, so.
Okay.
I have a question in regards to the complex license, just so I understand. The 4 hours that you were talking about, that's that it can sit out after it's been cooked.
I think I may have confused that.
Oh, okay,
4 hours means, it's like, I have a complex license that allows me to cater places,
okay.
so that's where that 4 hour window is.
So you cook it, you bring it, and it can sit for 4 hours?
Yeah, and that's nothing, no,
That's
that's
different
not what
than-
I'm
okay.
even questioning.
Okay,
I'm just saying, that's how the state identifies the difference.
great.
After you cook, you can only have it out for 4 hours if you just cook it right.
Yes, same.
Anyone else from the audience?
I don't own a business, food truck, but I frequent them, I frequent a lot of other businesses around here. A lot of what's been discussed is about the actual, give back to the community, but it's only been discussed in financial terms right now, and I think there's a broader scope of give back to the community that's not being discussed, and that's the actual, services being provided to an underserved community. A lot of the communities around here, we are in what we would call a food desert, the term's been said. So we have like Richland Center, we just have one place to get groceries, Walmart. Here in town, vendors, that's it. Restaurants, we have either in the morning, Vicky's, or the two restaurants, Hunkers or Sportsman's. So variety, not a lot. So when we talk about giving back to the community, the actual value of having happy community members that are being served a variety of things that they want is immeasurable. It creates a lot better work in the workplaces around here. It also, the vendors themselves are frequenting all of the establishments here, the gas station to put gas into their vehicles and or their generators, and just frequently a lot of the businesses in general, because, you know, while they're here, they're gonna shop here. So perhaps charging once a year for something, $50, $100 seems reasonable. I don't think it's quite necessary, but reasonable. But at the same time, the pricing out of these people by putting a license that's more than that would be detrimental to the community versus just getting a little bit of taxes and money up front. It's kind of my opinion. So if we're looking at long term, I don't know that it's probably the best thing to do. Short term, it may bring a little bit more money into the town, but that's just my observation.
Anyone else? Okay, Dan, I'll come
I just wanna make one point on Richland Center. Richland Center, 6 years ago, at least when I looked at it, was very restricted because you could only park in commercial or industrial places. Is that still the case?
No, it says,
So they opened up now?
it's commercial, industrial, or private property.
Okay, well, private property.
Yeah. Well, as I said, there are some restrictions, but
That's
it's
very-
not
that's
overly
very
restricted.
restricted than what we're looking at here.
I just think there are different levels of restrictions to consider too. I mean, you know, like zoning constrictions, that's gonna be different than financial restrictions for a business, and so I think that's just something to consider as well.
Any other comments? Otherwise, we're gonna open up to the board and see what the board's consensus is. Anyone else? Board, thoughts?
I'm gonna make the motion that, well, do we have, first of all, before I do, I wanna ask you a question. Do we have to break it down into the different license types if we're gonna make a motion that, that has a yearly registration fee on it?
I think if you wanna do this simple and complex, otherwise, I think if you wanna say, we're just gonna charge X dollars for any food truck, you could do that. I see no problem with that.
I will then, to make it simple, I'm going to propose that we do $100 a year for any license type, no restriction on the amount of times that they can come. But I think we need to consider where they can park. I think we've done so far, you can't park on Main Street, correct?
We don't, no,
Unless-
there's nothing.
Okay. So I mean, the way I look at it is not on Main Street unless it's private property. That would be what I would propose. And of course, that's after what we already do, checking the license, checking their insurance,
Do we do that now? Like, what is that process?
Yeah.
No, we have absolutely no ordinance right now on any food truck. on food
then I
trucks
would
or
make
trailers.
that proposal that we
So that-
incorporate.
Like,
I would
an
say-
application that has,
Correct.
that you provide licensing and insurance and that can be verified, that seems like something that you would want to have. And if you're gonna do that, the due diligence of reviewing the application, making sure that the license and insurance is correct and up to date and paid for, that takes time. So, an administrative fee of
The $100.
$100, whatever that is, I mean, that makes sense. I don't know, how you can, I don't know what the justification would be for more than the administrative costs of doing that due diligence. I don't know how you justify that.
I would also like to add, I do like the garbage removal idea, that they take their own garbage.
I would suggest if you have not read the, ordinance in Richmond Center, read it, because it covers all those things that you guys are talking about right now. What the state requires, what they're going to, check, what they're gonna verify about the trash. It covers all that stuff, so it would be pretty simple to adopt what they have, quite simply by using their language.
Did I miss anything?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying that rather than trying to reinvent the wheel, it's already there.
You mean for verbiage?
Yes,
Gotcha.
exactly, yeah, and it covers all that.
Do I need to restate what I said?
I would make a motion to table this and do some more research before we make a decision.
I'm sorry.
Research on what, can I ask?
Everything.
Well, be specific, what would you like?
Specifically, okay? My motion is that you have to spend more time on this. To jump on this and just say flat $100, no restrictions, nothing, we gain very little.
My hesitation about that, Larry, is I get where you're coming from, but we've gone through this for how many years? I mean, there's people here because of this, so.
But a good point was brought up by that gentleman. Do we have something written down that said they have to pick up their garbage?
I just made it in my proposal.
I'm just asking for that.
And I do have a copy of Richmond Center, so I just received this, but, I mean, I think
But
that's
I mean,
something.
we have something. I don't care less what this is, I read it.
I get that.
It's this place here we gotta take care of.
And if we say you take your trash with you, I mean, we all know that that's an ask. And they throw it in Jose's or Bunn's or whose ever trash can, awesome, they take it. If they walk over to our park and throw it in our trash, well, then we have to deal with it. And we all know that's how it's gonna work, but I think it's an ask. So, Ken, Eric, you spoke.
Can you make your, what you're suggesting about pick up the trash mandatory? You gotta
I
pick up your trash
assumed
at
it
home
was,
now?
I assumed it was when I made the
I mean, we're still gonna pay village employees to go empty their garbage cans if they just pick up their garbage and put it in our trash cans. We're still paying employees to take care of that.
Agreed.
So there's more money.
Right, we have that if they rent the shelter, we have that.
Is it safe to assume that if the motion was made and passed, that you would be responsible and take the garbage?
Absolutely.
I mean, that seems so simple.
Right, now, he wants to talk.
My guys there, wherever we go, we make sure that our guys look around whatever, garbage we have, we put them in the back of our trucks and we take it back home. So we literally, really try to do that for sure. Not that they have to ask us, we already.
But that's not to say that somebody buys something and doesn't throw it in City Park.
Of course.
We got it.
I can stop down there and empty my truck.
Exactly. You can only do good things. Dave, come around the table. What's your?
Well, I think we need to keep it simple.
Yep.
And a one time and once a year annual fee, just to make sure they have all their permits and licenses and fees and everything, that they're good. And I don't think we can restrict any time limits or number of times. Pretty much, yeah, keep, let them make sure they pick up the garbage.
We
pretty
can't,
simple.
we can't police
No.
the terms of their license.
No.
We are not, we don't do that, so it's no different than, a bar running or a restaurant running. We aren't policing their licenses, we check, we make sure they're valid, we approve them, and they need to do what they need to do to work within those. So I agree with you, keep it simple.
Doug?
Thank you.
Larry?
Draw my motion.
Anything you'd like to comment or add? Mike?
The only thing is, that bothers me is the unlimited. I mean, do we really want every day of the week?
You know what, I think competition's gonna control that. People aren't gonna go to the same food truck every week. And we're only 1,300 people, it's not like, how many times could you come to town?
See, that's the thing, that's why we come like every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks, cause we do want to make sure we have a sale, so we can keep coming back.
So we do it every 2 weeks or every week?
We every 2 weeks.
No.
Are we here every week?
Every Friday.
Oh, sorry, I'm involved in a lot of the things, my brother runs the truck, so I couldn't.
6 years ago, I shook your brother's hand, and I was here 6 years ago, I've been back since, right? Shook his hand, said, fine, whatever, I walked away from it. I started every week, that's when I came back.
Eric?
I think I said what I said before, that it needs, we should have proof of licensing and insurance and make sure that they're compliant. Past that, yeah, the garbage thing makes sense, but there is a cost to doing that due diligence, and if $100 is what seems reasonable, if you can justify $100 because we have to do that, then that makes sense to me.
One thing before you make the motion and pass it, I'm asking to differentiate between profit and nonprofit, don't just say food trucks. Because that could, you know what he did, a lot of the people that do things for charity in the community involved in that, so I would differentiate between profit and nonprofit.
Is there nonprofit food trucks that kind of just?
Well, there might be, I mean, we have nonprofit, you know, Burns Park, we have Lions Club, we have all kinds of things that happen, there's not saying that there can't be a food truck coming in as a
I
nonprofit.
think that's a good
I
point,
would
even if there
differentiate.
isn't now, there could be later, right?
Okay.
So-
Yeah, and I would just differentiate between the two.
Okay, Will, you have your,
I just wanna add on the garbage thing, I get that we wanna keep the town clean, perfect, but I don't think there should be really any restrictions on that, because honestly, most of the businesses around here that have any products that leave that business, I've seen the trash around everywhere, including bars, restaurants, gas stations, everything. So it's on the person who purchases from said person, vendor or business to be an adult, take care of their own trash. So to put it on the business themselves and fine them if they don't clean up their own garbage, that seems ridiculous, since I've seen plenty of nights where many people leave establishments around here and throw their refuse anywhere, and it has to be picked up by the village, city, whoever picks it up. So putting restrictions on that seems a little odd to me and a little overkill, but I get the point, we wanna keep the town clean.
I didn't add in there that they would be fined if they didn't.
I was just going there before anybody else did in case it came up.
all right, are we good? No, I think.
One more quick thing, that is also covered in the, Richland Center bylaw, about the nonprofits. If, for example, the Lions Club, when they do their burger thing, do they have to pay for it? No, they would not have to pay for it, and that is covered also in that Richland Center. So if you haven't read that,
Then I will add to my motion.
Hold on, go ahead, sir.
You said you had a copy of the Richland Center ordinances there for this discussion that we're talking about. Could you just read the trash part out loud? So we can see what they're doing with the trash?
All mobile food establishments, including mobile dessert establishments, shall provide at least one leak-proof container for the deposit of waste. Mobile food establishment operators are required to remove or otherwise properly dispose of all waste, litter, or garbage generated by their operation and patrons on a daily basis, including which may be reasonably seen from the location of operation on the ground and otherwise not in proper disposal containers.
How do we go with that? I mean, that sounds pretty much like it sums up everybody's questions on trash.
So, just so we don't get in any gray area, I think we can look at doing a motion. but I think we have to do with the covenants that we probably have been, make sure that everything in there is fine. But so everyone understands tonight what we're looking at, so I don't know if that is,
Do you want me to reiterate,
so do we, is that a motion or
or
is
do you want to
that?
read back? Cause the garbage thing, that sounds perfect, and
I agree.
so,
I think what we need is for you guys to make a recommendation of what you'd like to send to Ben, because you already have, an ordinance per se that we need to edit to put this in it, so there's gonna be other things that we're taking out of that.
So we have to vote on that though, in order to make a recommendation?
Do you need to have
I think we might as well know that we have majority. I mean, there's no sense of taking a recommendation to Ben and having it come back next month and not be able to.
so I need to rescind what I said and restate it as that we are recommending that it be sent on to Ben for review. And then if he reviews it and approves the way that we presented it, then then we would adopt it, is that correct? So I need to rescind and restate.
So I have a question, what was the mobile food, what did that ordinance say? Mobile food establishment?
Yeah.
Do we have a definition of what that means?
we don't have a food truck ordinance, so.
Right, so
We're talking
I feel
about
like that
adding-
should
The state does,
be.
when they have their license, like the license they'll have on their mobile trailer, the
Okay.
license that the state issues.
Okay.
They show you that license, it defines very accurately what it is.
Okay, and that's not a concern, I just didn't know.
Is that what I need to do? Yes.
Assume so, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
So I rescind my motion, and I would like to make the recommendation that, we send on to Ben. Food trucks will pay a one-time $100 a year, permit fee. That their licenses will be, or their license, proof of license, proof of insurance will all be verified as part of that. There won't be a restriction on frequency. Location will be limited to anything off of Main Street unless it's private property. That we ask,
Oh, right, so
that's fine.
So location limited off of Main Street
And unless it's private property. Now I lost my train of thought. All garbage, we'd like to try to adapt, if that's possible, the verbiage that was stated for the garbage removal. Did I miss anything from the first thing? Oh, and nonprofit, this will not be applicable to a nonprofit. Is that correct? What I said the first time?
Start from, yeah, I
Okay.
covered all your bases, which was the administrative fee, the take out the trash, basically, yes, the license, the insurance, no parking on Main Street, yes.
And then if Ben approves the way we recommend it, then I'd like to, the motion to do that.
Bring the ordinance back to the board next month with it written out by Ben, covering everything, so.
We have questions.
I just had a question about the nonprofit profit thing. Why not everybody pay the fee, but we waive the fee for nonprofits so they all abide by the same rules?
Cause then it's money in, money out, so I think that's probably a little bit of a,
You could give them a fee waiver though, at the same time they're filling out the
we
application.
can probably talk, our attorney probably has how to verbiage that, I'm gonna guess.
Just figure that would keep everybody in line while following the same rules.
So we don't have anything in there restrictions on, amount of times per week, per month,
That was
time
not
of year?
her motion, no.
Just wanna check.
Okay,
To move this on to them.
okay. And we want to second that. And we can roll call, even though it's not an adapted ordinance, but we're gonna roll call so we know if it's gonna go or not, so.
Johnson?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Anderson?
JC ballpark upgrades and renaming.
Guess anything else?
I'm gonna say I've heard a lot of pushback about the renaming thing. So, I mean, people who founded that were not necessarily keen on that. I guess I
I
would
understand.
rather if you could present, you know, like Grand Slam or as a $5,000 donor and triple, something like that, I think is gonna keep us, my personal, from what I'm hearing from constituents, would keep us
That's
in
fine.
better grace.
That's why I brought it up. I just wanted to,
Any
Yeah.
other,
thought it'd be a fast track to.
I've heard pushback on making it smaller, because you can't have the fast pitch, you can't have co-ed, so that, I've talked to.
Well,
some
that's
people-
gonna be something we need to stop everything right now.
I've talked to people that said that there's already, there used to be a baseball field for the high school. There's pins in the field, so that if they wanted to do the Little League baseball games, they would put the post in and run the snow fence, so then you would have your 200-yard marker, so that if they wanted to hit the ball.
Well, you're not gonna have benches,
Huh?
but you wanna have dugouts, which is the main reason why this came into my train of thought.
I haven't measured it, but I think there's a way to get dugouts and still keep
Only
the
on one
field
side.
big enough, to make everybody happy, but that's just my opinion.
Well, that needs to be something that needs to be discussed, because if we're not gonna do dugouts and we're not gonna have it look like a real field, and we're gonna cobble it together, so we can have fast pitch or go-ahead that we haven't had here in 7 years.
where did they run?
Every year.
No, if we have one tournament a year.
Yeah, and it's coming back around again.
Okay,
And
I'm
yeah,
not saying
co-ed's
that's
starting
what
to
we're
come
doing,
back
that's
around.
fine, that's why I come to the board for stuff, I mean, if we're doing that, that's fine. But I just wanna know that,
Does it fit? Has anybody laid out?
because I'll be giving donations back, because I'll be out.
Has anybody laid it out to know what is feasible and can you do?
What is it to the side right now?
I haven't measured from the fence to the side of the road to see if dugouts will fit.
No, what is it, 250?
It's 250 down the line.
And Blue River's 230, and they play fast pitch.
Correct.
So if we could gain 30 yards, or 30 feet, whatever. I think you can get it done on it. And you can still play fast pitch. You can still have your co-ed, and you can do your pins and still have and it could be nice dugouts, the whole 9 yards, if that's what you wanna do. But,
I guess I would really need to know what your guys are gonna allow and not allow. You gotta tell me the dimensions you're gonna allow,
the what?
the dimensions you're gonna allow.
So what are Little League dimensions? 200? And what's, I don't know anything about softball, what's softball?
I know
Our
like,
softball field now is 200, all the way around the fence, our high school softball field,
Is 200?
it's all the way around, perfectly
Good.
center.
Girls high school.
Okay, so what if you pay co-ed or men's league, what's that?
you get up to Eastman for your shea basketball, that's a big fast pitch area, they're in at 250 to 280. But I know Blue River's at 240.
Blue River's 230 down,
230 down the right field line, 190 to the left field line.
Yeah,
That's pretty narrow, but
if we.
200 feet won't work
No,
to play slow pitch. And there again, I'll, I've been playing ball down there for 50 years. I was part of the JC group that started that particular organization. I've been part of the Lions Club that's donated, and I've been part of the Chamber of Commerce, which has donated a lot to that part. I've seen a lot of ball games. I walk by almost every night, all summer long, and I see kids down there playing. My kids played baseball down there. I umpired baseball games for Little League for 7 or 8 years down there. With the dimensions we had there, they work. It used to be, and I think the chamber had a lot to do with that. It's all concrete now down there. It used to be all sand and mud and dirt and whatever. So it's really, and as far as the food stand, all the organizations have done that. But seeing a nice ballpark there would be nice with dugouts. But if you put dugouts there from working in the food stand, I'm not very happy because I can't watch the ball game. They're gonna be in the way.
can you flip that, keep your plumbing? If you keep your plumbing where it's at, but flip it so that the food side is on the other side?
It's possible to do that.
You know what I mean,
don't know.
I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, for myself, and, we've had state fast pitch softball tournaments down there. That gonna happen again? I would venture to guess never. Because fast pitch is just gone, but, they played, you know, they had a slow pitch, during the Mushroom Festival down there, quite well attended and, you know, some.
What's a reasonable distance for you?
You know, with the slope, if you go someplace where there's heavy slow pitch or whatever, they want 300 feet.
I know.
Is what you get. You can't hardly have it under 200, you can't hardly have less than 250 feet. That's, and that's, with slow pitch, that just isn't far enough. You get some of these guys now, you would never get them out, they'd all hit home runs all the time.
The new bats, the new balls, it almost makes ball fields irrelevant anymore in softball.
Do you want us to offer a committee or something, get together and do some measurements down there, come up with something?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if we're not, and I'm open to putting in a temporary fence we can put up for Little League and keep the back one for a softball field, but if we can't do legitimate dugouts, and our hope was with the concession stand, vendors to put in a concession stand that would make that viable. So you could see, cause we all know the people that are working in those concession stands are usually the parents of the kids playing. We know that. And that was something that we wanted to add to that facility. And where maybe we could actually cook inside of it instead of, having a grill outside, that we have to do things on. And one of the big goals too is getting the kids to remain in the facility where they're playing, instead of playing on the streets and that. I understand, and I understand perfectly the people that have committed to the JCs that built that, and that's why I brought it up as a question. Because I'm willing to open up anything to a question, is making the place as best we can, and make it as dual purpose as we can. But if we get to the point where we're not gonna have, in my mind, one of the worst experiences for the kids that play there, as if compared to other towns, where they have a dugout, where the coaches are able to corral their kids and keep them focused on the game, then it's really something that I would pass off to someone else. That's the biggest thing for me. We can build it, if we can, make the place look better the way it is, and we can put dugouts in it and put a temporary fence in, I'm all for that. If that's something that we think the community's gonna use, I just haven't seen that. I haven't seen it used. And, I mean, I sponsor that softball, that tournament down there. So yeah, I'm taking, by eliminating it, I'm taking out of my own pocket when I do it. My goal was just to have the best, Little League softball field that we possibly have. But if we need to get dimensions done, I would really like to move on that. We've got a lot of things in motion trying to raise money, and I'm gonna put a block to that, so we know if it's something that's gonna work for the people that are doing it.
How long would it take to put that together, realistically?
Tomorrow.
As long as we have an agreement on, what they can do and what they can't.
Right.
I mean, that's why we talked when we first talked about this, Troy being involved, so we knew what fit, what didn't fit, and so, yeah.
So, can I ask a question? I'm very softball, baseball, illiterate. When you're talking dimensions, if we establish something, it would be something we could look at. Would it be a map?
I'll talk to, if you guys do the map, we have a drafter that, through our company, we can probably draft it. If we say, here's what we are, here's what you're looking, we can put it to paper. I will offer that we can do that service.
So then we have to wait till next month to address it? Or could we do something before that? I'm just asking, because if he's out there actively seeking donations, and I've seen it all over, I think it's unfair to his efforts to put a 30-day halt on it. So I'm asking the board if we could consider maybe reconvening before that.
I think if we can get some dimensions and get together and
I
see
think
what
tomorrow to see what would work. Fred, anybody wants to come down and see what would be viable.
I'd like to come
Putting in a
down,
temporary
yeah.
fence would be, it's not that difficult. I've seen some really deep ones
Mhm.
out there. I don't really like the steak and
They said there's
fishing,
pockets.
the tennis pole stuff, I don't really care for, but to make it reasonable and last.
Yeah. Well, and if you do that, you could, your sponsor money could go on that
Yeah,
temporary fence during the
that's,
summer.
that's a big part of the donation part of
That would dress it up a little bit, have your sponsors on that temporary fence.
The biggest thing is, I mean, we could put a dugout on the,
South side.
yeah, I'm getting my map, I'm getting my directions, yeah, here, south side.
Yep.
But the problem is obviously the other side.
Yeah, but if we, like Doug said, if you flip that food stand or
If you
something.
flip that food stand, the biggest thing is moving your plumbing and all that.
Yep.
That's gonna cost you a fortune. So if you can take that food stand, like here, the bathrooms are here, and you flip it like this, so now your concessions are on this side and your restrooms are facing the south. That's gonna give you enough room that your concession people can sit there and watch the game.
It actually would, because the restrooms are right in the corner of the bleachers for the bench.
You're gonna lose the shelter.
We can move the shelter down, move the shelter down 20 feet, you still keep your shelter for people to
And
sit.
I don't know, how far is it from that fence to the curb, on the north side there?
That's quite a ways.
Yeah, you can cheat that a little bit.
Yeah.
You can still get a dugout in that side, and then run the chain link fence all the way down, so the kids still got a place to practice pitching and all that shit. They're not out on the road getting run over, cars and all that stuff. So I think there's a way to accommodate everybody if we
When
just.
you get to the construction stuff, I'm trying to figure out how you flip it.
Oh.
I think I-
So, this is the restrooms are here.
Yep.
Concession stands
Yep.
here. This is north, that's the river.
Yep.
Concession stands are over here now, restrooms are on the south side.
Spin it, not
So
flip it.
wouldn't the dugouts, with the dugouts you put in on that side?
Dugouts, right now, you're looking at the back of the dugouts, the concession stand is, the bathrooms are over here.
Oh, I see.
Now we flip
Your
it.
dugouts go right where.
But your line of sight to home plate would still be gone. Your dugout would be right in the middle.
You get some blockage there, but it depends upon if you build the dugouts completely solid all the way up, or if you go halfway up with some wood, put some chain link in there or something. So you
Well, I
just-
think we should meet tomorrow. look
Are
and
you
see if
available
there's-
around 3:30 tomorrow?
30, yeah, wait a minute. Wednesday,
Yes.
yeah, the meeting at 2,
When?
3:30. Yeah, I just gotta be back in bags at 6, yeah, that's good.
3:30 tomorrow? Anybody else? Welcome, 3:30 tomorrow, JC Ballpark, bring your ideas, bring your.
I'll have to post it if you're right on the board.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Oh, and that's not gonna be enough time to post it.
Be another meeting.
All right,
Yeah,
fine,
two
only
board
2 people
members.
can go.
What was that?
You got the 2 board members, you can't have more than 3.
You can't have a quorum down there, it's not posted.
How long, how quick?
Well, if there's somebody else.
What's the turnaround for quorum?
24 hours.
It's gotta be emergency 24 hours.
So we're past that.
So could we meet on Thursday? And put out, that opens it up so that any board member can come?
Conquer can on Thursday.
I'm gone from 8 until 4, and then I gotta be at a chamber meeting at 6.
Comment to 2? I don't have to be there either, doesn't matter.
It don't matter to me, if somebody else wants to go.
Somebody that knows construction.
I just been kind of.
You need to be there.
I just been thinking this stuff around in my head, trying to make everything happen.
I can meet with Doug afterwards and he can reiterate what,
3 of you can.
3 of us?
So you have Doug, John, and you, and us.
Troy's.
Somebody with more knowledge can go and they can explain it to me afterwards.
Take your camera.
Yes.
I'm just, clarifying, was there a suggestion for a renaming? Cause I didn't hear one brought up.
Thanks for coming.
That's
It's all-
last meeting.
I've been open up,
Okay, I didn't know if there was one that
pretty
being
much
put
the highest
forward.
bidder.
Dan,
as a
would you,
suggestion.
would you consider shifting that incentive to donate to name the dugouts?
Well, there'll be all kinds of those incentives.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be the scoreboard that we're gonna put something around, I mean, I have a bunch of incentive things. My goal was obviously to get 1 lump sum to rename the field, and that number was gonna be 20,000. And I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure I would have it, but it's fine, I mean, we have to respect the past as much as we're looking past the future, I understand. That's why I just wanted to know.
Okay, we're good? Who can attend tomorrow? Number to 3, we'll figure it out. 3:30.
2.
3.
Yeah, there's
Three, 4.
No, 4 is a quorum, cause you have 7 members.
Okay. Where's Scott coming from?
Tim's not going, so
Doug's going.
John's going.
Not going.
I can wait, it's fine.
I won't be here unless you wanna go.
You will upstairs. Yeah, perfect.
And I'm also gonna call Jake and, we have 4 people on that, 4 other people on the board, so I'll call all of them.
Jake and Chad, Darren and Jessica?
Yeah.
Well, they should, I don't think they're playing ball tonight, but it depends
Yeah.
on if they win or not.
It's not.
I'll mess
Well, for the girls.
All right, moving on, meeting pay for housing authority board members. Is that doable? I mean, cause isn't the housing kind of its own weird kinda
I
thing?
can't hear you.
So we're talking about pay then of the housing authority board members? I don't know how the housing authority works, to be honest with you. Can we pay?
That's a good question. I'm the reason that that's on your committee. I've been on the housing committee for, I don't know how many years, 4, 5, 6 years now. And I'm not totally sure yet how it works or what we're there for, in all honesty. And, you know, up until recently, I don't even know who owns the buildings as such. The village insures them. And they provide the liability on the property. But yet, it doesn't seem to, the rural housing committee, or rural housing state, or whatever, it seems like there's so many fingers in there that, ownership is still a question. If the village owns them, they insure them, so that's one of the qualifications to be able to insure some property, is you have to own it. And so they should. But I guess the big thing was, I brought it up at the last meeting we meet 4 times a year, is what we have. The Housing Authority Committee has an organization, DAC is what they're from Lancaster. They manage everything, they take care of all the monies, the whole ball of wax. They get paid, they get a certain percentage of that, of the funds or the rents that are paid. That's how they get their compensation. And we meet, for our meetings usually last between 15 minutes and 30 minutes. I've been on some other committees and we've always been reimbursed for that. My question was, that's our last meeting, how come we don't get paid for, why don't we get paid for this? I guess we're just volunteering time. We have one lady who comes, Deb comes and she either she's working at Walsh, she has to take time off from work, to come to our meeting. And I guess that was my one question, is why isn't there some sort of compensation for us? And the other question I brought up at the same time was, I'm concerned about insurance. Are we covered under the village, or who are we covered? Is anybody providing liability insurance for me? Now, if nobody is, I resign now, immediately.
You're covered by the liability insurance for the.
We're covered by,
How? Because you're an appointed board member or committee member by the village,
Okay.
because it's village property. So therefore, because you're an appointee, you fall under just like these committee members or the plan commission. The board's covered, the plan commission's covered, the board of review is covered. So you're covered because you're appointed by the village board.
okay,
Yes.
that was,
Yep.
nobody was able to tell me that before, because it's the way our society is today, being sued, isn't uncommon. And if you get sued, the first thing you do is hire an attorney, and they don't work for nothing. So that was my concern. So, okay, you answered that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. As far as the other thing was, as far as the compensation goes, I think we're the only group or commission. I think the library committee doesn't get paid, but other than that, we're the only ones that don't get paid. So, and I just wondered why.
And I don't have a problem paying it. I didn't know if there was something in the housing authority clause that says members can't. cause housing authorities throughout all of Wisconsin, isn't it, Southwest? Someday I would like somebody to come in and really explain this, because I think a lot of us board members have questions about that.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark?
Sure, I was on the Muscoda Housing Authority for many years. I was chair for many years and secretary for many years. So the properties were bought under Rural Housing Authority, 30-year mortgages, and then the village owns them after that. Part of a program similar to how the dorms at Southwest Tech, for example, and there's that kind of programming. So the village sure does own them, and they have to have insurance on them, and DAC Management was the same management firm that takes care of the properties, just like Fred described. We didn't get paid then. It was volunteer service on the committee. No one ever discussed pay. I can't tell you why or why not.
Okay, so my question is, the village owns them.
Yes.
How come the village doesn't see any money from them?
Well, it does get rental income from those until the mortgage is paid off, so I don't know where the mortgage is. I think those were built, they were built in the 80s, weren't they? 70s?
So they should be.
They should be paid off, so.
50 years.
So
Maybe it was a 50-year mortgage.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
still a
sure.
mortgage on it.
So it must, maybe it was more than that, a longer mortgage period.
What, 50 years, where you get
I guess, I asked DAC Management, what the status of that is.
I have an email out to them to get financials and some questions on it.
I would like to see something how we can address it.
But it's a percentage of goes to pay off interest, and then there's the principal. That's how it would work.
Thank you. Okay, so.
So should we revisit this when we have the information from that?
Well, I don't see if there's.
If you don't know if there's a restriction, is your question, that would be my question. I have no problem.
You guys probably don't meet for another month or so, do you? Fred, when do you meet again?
I don't know, maybe another month yet.
Okay. Can you look into the housing authority and make sure that there's no like clause that members can't be paid or anything? If there's not, I don't think we have a problem paying you guys for your time and service. I just wanna make sure there's not some weird verbiage in the housing, their side.
Well, they were there, Dak was there when I brought the matter up at the last particular meeting. And there seems to be a little indecision on their particular part, just how everything is, how everything is done, but they never said that there was anything like that, they didn't really realize, we don't work for DAC, but we're supposedly representing the village.
Okay. You've weathered the storm this long, can I ask for a little bit longer, Fred? Next month we'll.
That's fine, no, that's,
I don't think anyone here has a problem with paying you.
no, that's
I just
fine.
wanna make sure that we're not stepping
Yeah,
on their
no.
rules, so.
No, I wouldn't want illegal payment.
Heck no.
Unless you want back pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, I would like to get somebody from DAC to come down here and explain the nuts and bolts, and if it's way over my head, at least I can say I tried, because right now I can't say that.
There's, yeah.
Is that something we're gonna pursue then?
Yes, we're
Is that
gonna-
there? Okay,
Carlos got an email with them to get them to answer some questions.
perfect.
Alright, update on issues with squad 2, repair, replace.
Alright, so, 2-3 weeks ago, the squad acted up again, where it was thinking that it's getting shifted into park. Took it up to, Bill back in Richmond Center, they had it for about a week and a half. They could not get the problem to replicate, so I have it back. It has not acted up again since. It is a 2021. It has 54,000 miles on it, the warranty will be up, here probably within a month or two when it hits 60,000. So, my question is, keep driving it and see what happens, or do you want to consider replacing it now? Do you wanna readdress it come budget time? What would you like me to do? The paperwork I gave you, the best we can tell, Carla and I, and Amy, is that the there might be around $48,000 earmarked within the general fund for a squad. I have two bids, one is from Les Mack, and one is from, Sleepy Hollow. The squad cost is just under 41,000, and the upfit would cost around 7,100. So you'd be looking at roughly, to be safe, 40, yeah, just under 50. So it'd be real close to what is quote unquote earmarked in the general fund. And then as I Kelly Blue booked it, private party value is around 23,000. I don't think we can get 23,000 for it. On Wisconsin Surplus selling it.
What was the lead time to, did you ask how readily they will deliver?
No. I'm gonna guess that it's gonna be probably 2 to 3 months, I would think at least. I didn't ask, we haven't done that, we've gotten better money off Wisconsin Surplus. I'm sorry?
If you don't think they can get 23,000.
I don't think that they are going to give us any more money in trade-in than what we could get on Wisconsin Surplus. And that's why we always
market, you have the right people looking at it.
Yeah, where Wisconsin Surplus, you have thousands of people.
I just had something to add. I don't know if it's valuable information for Shram, but Chad Knable had brought up we needed a police vehicle for our village of Avoca, and that some kind of grants had just opened up, like a 75-25 split. So I don't know if that's something that you guys might be able to check into that might benefit the village of Muscoda as well, but it is something that was just brought up at our board meeting yesterday.
It's a way.
It's some kind of grant. I don't know the name of it, but I'm sure Officer Shram could talk to Chad and they could figure out what I'm talking about. But it's some kind of 75-25 split. I don't know, but just figured I'd bring that up just in case it helps with the decision.
What would you normally replace that squad? What do you rent or you?
Well, we haven't been putting as many miles on just because we haven't had to make as many trips to Lancaster. I used to have to drive to Lancaster to sign my name to a piece of paper every time we had a criminal complaint. We don't do that anymore. In the past, around the 6-year mark is when they were coming close to 90 to 100,000 miles. So this is the 21. We're at that now. It depends. Do you want to replace at mileage or do you want to place at year? I honestly, I truly don't care. Honestly, you know.
But how much longer before our warranty goes out and same thing?
Well, at 6,000 miles, that's probably 2 to 3 months. The warranty will be expired at the end of the year. Will be gone, yeah.
Where did we buy,
This one came from Philback.
This one did come from Philback?
And when I asked Philback, you know, what happens if this keeps replicating after 60,000 miles? Zach said, that's gonna be up to you and Chrysler, which is why I did not get the bid from Philback.
Why you didn't do it?
Because it's got a
Okay.
first year. Correct, and, the squad 2 or squad 1, the one Kate drives, that is from Les Mack.
I think I'm gonna make a call to Philback. And then John, learn a little bit about this too.
Either way, I think we should replace it before we.
I think we should probably look at doing something before we.
Exactly, I agree.
Can we still check into that? What about?
I'll look into it. I've never heard of a grant before for a squad car.
It was discussed last night at the meeting, so.
That's why
What was that?
I said if we got these funds ear-taped for it, and we're that close to our warranty being up with troubles we're having, it's kind of a no-brainer.
But it's still checking the grant.
Right, yeah, checking the grants.
So if the warranty expires before a new squad comes in,
Hopefully nothing happens
then
to
the
it.
value will is gonna drastically decrease.
Correct.
Just,
Yeah.
it's just if something happens.
I honestly, personally, with my mechanical experience from years ago, I think it's the wiring harness. And they said that Chrysler would not replace that without proof because the engine likely has to come out to replace that wiring harness. Cause it's one wiring harness for the whole thing.
Okay, so I'm not, I don't know, reading that piece right, but Bill Bex is saying that that is not the issue,
They can't confirm nor deny really.
because they can't replicate.
Correct.
And they won't remove the engine.
Why? Is that why John's calling, because they won't remove the engine to check? Pardon?
I'm gonna talk to, one of the guys down in Muscoda. We've had a pretty good relationship for a long time. Tell him my disconcern and why the village doesn't even care to obtain another quote from them and see if we like to change our tune a little bit.
If they took the engine out, would they be able to confirm it? I guess
I don't know.
Okay, well then, that does it, but I don't know.
What was the malfunction though?
So, what they found here 2 to 3 months ago, they found a couple of corroded wires within that wiring harness.
Okay.
It
And what's
was
the
doing the exact
transmission?
same thing.
What was the transmission doing? Not going into gear or?
No, as you're driving down the road, the computer would lose communication with the transmission, thinking that you slammed it into park. So that when I stopped, it would not move, it would go into park, and then I would have to shift to park to drive. Sometimes it would come out, the one time it did not. It shifted into park and stayed there, and I was actually in the middle of the road up at 193 and 80. And they actually had to drag the squad onto the flatbed, they had to drag it off of the flatbed and put it back. And then that's when they found those corroded wires that they replaced, you know, the ends of them. And then it was fine for a few months, and then it started doing it again. And they could not get it to replicate. They put it up on the hoist, they were shaking all the wires like they were doing before, we could not get it to replicate.
And it hasn't happened?
No, it has not done it since. No, I got it back I've had it back about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks.
And how much it's happened, what, 4 times you said?
More than 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, what do you wanna do, board?
I'd say it's time to replace it.
Let's get into it. Okay, that's a motion.
That's no, let somebody else have a problem.
I'll second.
I'll get a hold of Chad and see what it is that they're talking about. I've never heard of select.
I think I read something about it.
There's a cops grant, but I think that's for personnel.
Yeah, that was pretty sure it was for vehicles.
We need to,
Remember I saw that.
roll call there.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hill,
Yeah.
Anderson,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Muehlel,
Yeah.
Seifert, Emhoff.
Yes. Alright, update on property inspection reports, you said.
I asked, Mike Ryder for an update and I did not get any reply. I emailed him last week and yesterday I got no reply.
Purchase of portable radios.
That I wanna table, I'm getting some Motorola's to test. I'm testing the paper right now, I'm waiting to test the Motorola's.
Okay, and then we're gonna move Bill's report up.
The only thing that I have there is our flock camera was damaged, but we were able to get it regained and it is picking back up.
What happened?
I think what they did is use, cause it's up high, they hit it to point it up in the air so that it was not picking up license plates.
Creating privileges in there.
Out on the bridge.
Does it only record license plate, can't you do it?
Yeah, no, yeah, it only gets the license plates that are out in the middle of the road, it doesn't.
Anything else, Bill? Otherwise, we'll entertain, so you can catch them. We'll entertain a motion to approve Bill's report. Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Now getting back in order, thank you, Bill.
You bet, thanks.
Renewal WPPI contract?
It's in your packet here, this is the contract we talked about last month. Basically, do a contract with WPPI, just standard contract. Use more monies to get into renewable energy and such.
Yeah. I see no reason why we would not.
Anything really different?
Second. We have roll call.
Seifert? Yes. Learholt?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Emhoff?
Yes.
And then we need a resolution too. It's part of the contract, there's an attachment of a resolution to the contract. I didn't include all the paperwork.
So we need a motion to.
To approve the resolution that was in set.
The resolution, they didn't make a proceed. Taking for still.
I'm on the side, I guess.
Yeah,
Who's the
still.
most? I think they're just trying to, they're probably doing that.
Yeah.
For.
So there's a resolution that we don't have, so Larry made a motion that we approve this resolution.
Oh, okay.
That we don't have.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Second.
Roll call again?
Seifert? It's the same resolution that you would have signed the last time the WPPI
Oh,
contract.
okay.
It's a duplicate, it's changing the year, cause you're just renewing your contract and your resolution, it's
Okay.
just the same.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes.
327.
Learholt?
Yeah.
Meyer?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Emhoff?
Yes. Am I gonna sign it tomorrow?
Yep, you're gonna sign today. Sign there.
Seasonal campsites?
We're full.
We're full? Awesome. License applications, operators licenses.
So, we have 3 of them. I have Dawn Courier, I have Catherine Sherman, and I have Nicole Goddard.
All we're good.
Motion to approve licenses.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Request for proposal, residential solid waste and recycling collection and disposal.
So, last month Dave gave me the card for GFL out of World Club to call and talk to them. And I spoke with Mike Lang, the general manager, and which was a good thing that we did, because I learned that right now we should be sending out requests for proposal, even though our current contract with, Republic does not expire until December of 27, because that gives them all lead time to purchase their bins and get everything in order. So I would like to know if you would give me permission to work with Ben to put together a request for proposals to send out, so that we can start getting some bids in for you guys for next year, because we need to get that approved so that it can be in effect as of December of 2027.
Motion to move on.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Renewal contract with Associated Appraisal Consultants.
So the associated appraisal is just a renewal. It's the same $10,000 for the next 3 years. It just is asking if we would like to continue with them. So that's all, this is pretty simple.
That's what we already did, right?
Yep,
Is this fee similar?
it's the same. It's still the 10,000, yep, yep.
Motion to renew the contract.
They will be, yeah, so they'll do their reassessments and they'll do anything that, what's in the contract.
Ones that didn't go up super high, but the ones that didn't go up anymore.
Someone wanna make a motion?
I did.
Oh, you did already? Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Tony?
Yeah.
Roll call?
Johnson?
Yes.
Hill?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Learhall?
Yes.
Cipher?
Yes.
And Hall?
Yes. While we're on that subject, we'll talk about sending up for.
That would be, no, that would be, for Bill Moline for the auditors.
Okay, you've been on your
Yep.
report, okay. Chamber of Commerce report?
Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday?
Actually, I gotta bring something up.
Okay.
So, once in a while, as you guys know, it's been one of the projects that it's kind of stalled because we were waiting on a lot of things to happen with, leading ladies in the library, and that's finally been accomplished, the signs are done. We wanna be able to install them, Jim wants to install this week. Now, do you guys have to approve where they go for it in front of the library?
I would say you better ask the library.
No, the library's gonna be part of it, but you make sure the library is
They're
definitely.
gonna be very opinionated, but other than that, probably within Troy's
Yeah,
recommendation.
we'll have to work to, because it's all got irrigation system and stuff in it now too, so.
Okay, oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, that's what makes it best, so, okay, so whatever, I guess we get together with Tim.
Yeah.
Does the village have a problem where they go if they're near the library and they're safe?
As long as Troy gives it a green light on, they can
I'll
get
drive
it.
down there too, so.
And to do that, and.
What
and the
about
library.
Ghost Hole location down by the park? That's like right where the, pretty close, I'm not exactly sure that is, by the chamber, I think it's by the chamber, building. Down the Victoria, I'm pretty sure. It's right where the Ghost Hole was.
It's by the pavilion to
By the
the,
pavilion.
to the east of the chamber shelter.
What's it called?
Oh,
The
yeah.
gozy hole.
Gozy hole's down at the other end, be down by the, I don't know, we call it the.
Prairie restoration.
Prairie restoration was.
Okay, it's down there.
Well, it's in between the two.
Yeah, it's down that way.
Village can have any, do you need to hold off on anything or?
I think we can work with it down there.
Now, I know in the past we talked about, sponsorship with it, and I believe last year you guys designated like 10,000 to it. That we didn't take because we didn't get it done. And I have the bill for the signs, I know, and Tim's estimate is roughly, between $3,000 and $3,500, so the total bill would be approximately 11,400, and the chamber, they have. I don't know if that's still on the table, or is it something that,
So that's,
Yes, yeah, so that's for the festival, so does that have to, the improvements, so that should be.
we're gonna pay the whole bill, and we just,
you guys need to let us know that we need to pay that bill with the festival,
You're talking.
Yes.
Okay.
and I'll leave this, I usually would make copies for everybody, so you guys can probably tell us that this day.
Can I make a copy of it?
Oh, you
and
can
give it
keep
back
it,
to you?
I have
Okay.
mine on my printer
Okay.
phone.
Okay.
But I don't have Tim's, he didn't have it, all done, but he's gonna be the one installing, I'm sure he's gonna get some volunteers to help. But the cost of concrete, the cost of the plates that we use to build them, and all that, that's all the expenses that I don't have. So, and,
So, Dan, are you asking us to pay the chamber then, or?
yeah, we'll pay the whole thing, and
Okay.
then you just reimburse us.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
doesn't have to be part of it.
That's what we did in the past.
Okay.
Alright.
John?
I would think, yeah, that we need a motion to pay the chamber.
I just, when you're done with this, I wanted to piggyback something on chamber report, but not on this motion.
So what is the dollar amount then? Do we know, or
So you're paying,
I don't have the other side of the installation or the concrete or the plates that we have, I don't have that side of the bill, that's the bill for the signs and the raw materials that.
so you'll pay half of this, and then you'll get us bill for
The other
half?
half? Yeah, but don't do it until we pay it, we won't pay it until.
so you want us to wait till next month?
Yeah.
And we'll get
Just
everything,
basically.
okay, okay.
Then
So
I'll
we'll,
have the whole bill done,
Okay.
I'll put it in an itemized frame that everybody can see.
so we'll put it back on the agenda then?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
fine. I
absolutely.
just wanna get it, just the.
Okay. Mark?
Yeah, I'll be brief, you know, that means a half an hour speech, so. I wanted to, first of all, thanks for the use of the boat landing for the Voyager canoe trips. Had the last one today, we did 13 trips in 20 days, and all weekday trips. I don't use the boat landings in the area on the weekends, because we don't want to have recreational user conflicts, as I call it. And everything went very well. I also wanted to thank the Village of Muscoda for the use of the front on our July 8th Declaration of Independence reading event, and then the back room for the small refreshments and a little reception that we had afterwards. We used our Riverway Board office chairs, and then some of the chairs from here. We set up 50 chairs, and we still had standing room only.
Nice.
So it was very well attended, well received. Ken Beach received a lot of compliments, and I had a lot of compliments, so be a thank you in the paper tomorrow, thanking the village, and the press release was on the radio, and that'll be in the Progressive tomorrow. So I just wanted to thank everyone. Carla was very helpful, Officer Schramm was informed, and everything went smoothly. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
We need to have one.
Yeah, we need to have one. I think we're getting all the numbers put together, so I think we need to talk about eventually getting the meeting started here. So maybe we can communicate on that this week
Yeah.
for a festival meeting. I think Bailey's got all the numbers. I think there's just a couple more and then we should be ready
Okay, so
to put in this.
by the end of the week, we'll have.
I would think
all the
by the
numbers.
end of the week, we should be able to put together something to get an email out for everyone to get ideas on the next meeting.
Yeah, let's try to get done so we can report back to the board meeting.
Yeah, in August, yeah.
Library board report, Doug?
They welcomed me, gave me a packet with all the bylaws, I didn't realize there was gonna be homework involved, but, went over everything and how they operate, I've not spent much time in the library, but they got a lot of people that come in and out of that place, it's quite amazing, but, and they formed a committee to look over they have different funds, money and what they're gonna do with the stuff, and, pretty much it. They're looking at doing something with them doors at some point, so they will be coming in and talking to you guys about that. Next meeting's in October.
Report on meetings attended by board members and action on attendance at various meetings.
Did you attend that last meeting, Eric?
Yep.
Do you wanna fill everybody in, or?
Yeah, they, just looking for the note on it. The speakers were, it's a group that does, has a Grant County homeless project, and they're, basically to explain what the program is, and then their funding is getting cut short, and so they were just looking for anybody that would be available to help, with that program. It's not like a Section 8 program, it's something specific that people come in and they provide for the whole family for a certain amount of time. The one thing was interesting, the Grant County guy said that the fair this year is gonna be free admission, so that was kinda different. Didn't mention if they're gonna charge anything for parking, but the admission's free, so. So there's that, and then just, Ron was talking about Grant County did a moratorium on data centers, so no data centers for at least a year while they figure out what they're gonna do about that. That was, those are kind of the highlights.
And we house.
Yep, so Wednesday, the 22nd, the next economic development meeting will be here at Sportsman's, so the Village of Muscoda is hosting it. It'll be Wednesday, the 22nd, it'll start at 5 o'clock, there's gonna be a tour at Scott Industries. And then you'll go to Sportsman's, social hour starts at 5:30, dinner is at 6. Roasted chicken, sliced beef, potatoes and gravy and salad bar, and it's $20 per attendee.
So meals gonna be at Sportsman's?
Yeah. We thought it would be easier than,
Is that gonna work? It's gonna be too hot anyway.
You think they got
So,
enough room?
Sportsman's the trash chute or?
No,
Sportsman's bar.
bar, yep, yep,
Cause he was catering it anyway, so.
in the back,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was tighter than shit last time we lived there, that's not.
I was gonna say it's gonna be tight.
Would he entertain doing it here? I know it's probably more of a pain, but. I guess it's fine. We've done them in worse places, so some people end up on those, nothing against, it's just,
Right.
it wasn't anything about his establishment, it's just tight, but we've been where we've been standing
Yeah,
between a whole
we did
bar.
it- We did it here.
We did it at Goulart's one time and it was literally the whole bar, so
Yeah.
it'll be fine. So, maybe you can talk to him about reserving
That is
that
gonna be tight,
other room.
just
Yeah.
compared to the last one I went to.
I think Troy, he asked Troy how many attendees, and I think Troy told him 50 at least, to anticipate 50 people, so.
Correct.
What's his fire,
Does it
what's
make
his
sense
fire
to go
quality?
here?
I don't, with the food, I don't know if you want to.
The reason we didn't do the park is because
It was like
then
95 degrees.
not only the temperature wise, but then we're having to figure out how we're gonna keep it warm, we gotta get all the plates, the utensils, the soft drinks, all of that stuff. This just puts it right on the location to take care of it, because it was kind of a last minute thing. We didn't book, so, it's just easier to have it at a facility. It was perfect down there, but it was great because the Lions did the cooking down there and they took care of everything, and unfortunately they weren't available this year. So, and Sportsman's hadn't done it for a while and he was willing to do that, so we thought we'd spread that out a little bit
I would
amongst the
just ask
village.
him about that other.
Is there more room at Hawkers than there is at Sportsman's?
That's Richland County, so this is Grant County.
Well, everybody knows.
We'll move aside.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be tight.
So, we have to let you know.
So, yeah, you need to,
But still, he still has to do the same thing. Maybe people can get their food and walk over here. And I'm being serious. Why can't we do to-go containers?
It's worked there before,
Yeah.
it'll work.
I mean, we've already publicized it, so they've already let all the other counties know, and everybody's, that it's at Sportsman, so unless there's some sort of catastrophe, I would probably could keep it there. He said we can use the outside area too, so.
Okay, but, yeah, gotcha.
They either have to be all in or all out though.
Right, that's what I was gonna say, cause they're gonna talk.
So are we paying her?
It's already booked. It's already booked, so.
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. I'm sorry, yeah, I think just to make a motion that, like you guys normally do, that whoever would like to attend that,
Are,
village
is
be.
the village paying, or are we paying and the village is gonna reimburse? How do you wanna do that this time?
Well, if, you gotta let us know, so if you can let me know by Friday if you're gonna attend.
I'm gonna go.
So if you say you're gonna go and you don't go, we still have to pay for the meal, so
So we owe you $20.
then you would, yeah, I'll come knocking, I want the reimbursement back to the village general fund.
Alright, let the
So,
girls
how
know.
many, Kim's gonna go, okay. Dave?
Not sure yet.
Okay, if you wanna let me know, Doug,
I don't know either.
okay,
I'm gonna go.
Troy, you're going?
I'll be there.
Yeah,
This being big day.
Well, he can let us be outside then.
Larry,
What's the date?
it's Wednesday the 22nd,
Next Wednesday, correct?
next Wednesday.
No,
No,
I'll be in Sauk.
Eric. You can let me know by Friday.
I'll be gone.
Okay. So you wanna make a motion that we?
Motion to let those who wanna go. This one to let you know Friday.
Second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Superintendent report.
Other than my report, I did do some weed notices. One actually went to one of our permanent campsites. We fixed and adjusted Bill's spot camera for him. And this picture, you want a picture? Got a picture of a tree in your thing?
Yeah.
There was a camper and permanent site that was damaged from this tree.
Okay.
She wants this tree taken down. I said, I don't see anything dead in it. I don't wanna start just ripping trees down and have a campground bear.
Yeah.
I see no reason to take it down, I said I would bring it to the board and let them decide.
She had damage
She had damage to her camper.
after that really.
From that storm.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Lip snapped off, so
Yeah, let
what
them
part
snap.
do you find that doesn't have trees in it?
Just, bring it.
I think they call that a beach.
She's not claiming the bill, I mean.
No, we already passed that, Carla, I fixed that.
Right, so, no, I would say if you don't determine it's a dead tree, it's a pretty tree, it looks pretty green to me in that picture.
Yeah.
And it's part of the contract that they sign, that they realize that when they go there, that, you know,
Have to guys or.
yeah, they have to claim, file that with their insurance.
Don't cut tree hair.
Anything else there?
That's the only thing I have to add.
And, you did get a pat on the back about all the storms that we've been, knock on wood. We've been very lucky with power outages, because the guys try to be very proactive when there's been outages, they've been on them very timely, so shout out to you guys to get through that, so.
Thank you.
And shout out to their response time for the damage after the storm.
Yep.
It like trees.
So, if no one has any other questions or comments, we're gonna do a motion to approve Troy's report.
Motion to approve Troy's report.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
So in addition to the report that I've submitted to you, Candy is going to be attending, training at WPPI, August 11th and 12th. That's new user training, so she would be time for her to attend that. So I would like you guys to approve that as well. And then just a reminder, then Amy and I are gone the next week following that for our clerks conference in Green Bay, the week of the 17th through the 21st. So Candy and Billy will be here at the office, if you need something. Outside of that, then Amy and I have training, in the Dells for Cassell training. We'll be leaving to go up the 8th of September through the 10th. So we need to have the village board meeting moved for that month as well to the 15th, if that would work with everyone's schedule. So August, Candy will be going to training on the 11th and the 12th. So the August meeting, you guys have already approved. That meeting will be on Wednesday, August 12th.
We did.
Yep, you guys approved that one. Yep.
Okay.
So that one we already have moved. The September meeting we need to move, because unfortunately Cassell, I mean, it's great they have training, but it's scheduled the night of our board meeting. So we'd like to move that to the 15th of September.
Alright, do those dates work? Well, I guess the 12th we already decided. The 15th, as far as anyone have a objection to that? Nope. Alright. Just for your total report. you
For
want a
the
motion?
report, and then if, can we include in there, do you, I mean, you guys have already approved our Cassell
Right.
conference, it's just changing the meeting, so I would probably incorporate that into the, or just make it in the notes.
I think you all
Okay.
need one.
Motion to approve everything that we just said.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Action on payment of invoices. Hey, where's your report at this time?
Not mine.
What report do you need?
I didn't have proof report.
Oh, here you go.
It was part of the little package that was left on the
Oh,
picture.
I didn't know you did that one.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Miyerholt,
Yes.
Seifert,
Yes.
Penfold.
Yes. And then we need a motion to go into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session.
Roll call.
Miyerholt,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yes.
Seifert,
Yes.
Anderson,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Penfold.